Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
Happy Sunday. Welcome from Cincinnati, Ohio, on the banks of the Ohio River. We are at Great American Ballpark. It's the Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds today, the site of the All-Star Game here in Cincinnati. That's just 9 days away. And the Brewers are looking like All-Stars right now as a team, the hottest team in baseball. They've won 7 consecutive games. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Minnaert is our reporter this afternoon. It is the final game of this road trip. The Brewers swept the Phillies in 4. They've got a chance at a sweep of the Cincinnati Reds. And Rock, they're trying to make it 8 straight. And it has been an offensive show here for the Milwaukee Brewers like we have hardly seen in franchise history.
Yeah, and I don't think that's as much of a surprise what they're doing right now as the way they started. I mean, miserable offensively. And then all of a sudden the injuries started to mount up. But the original lineup almost intact, waiting on Chris Davis. I think it has a lot to do with it. But the middle of the order, the real stabilizing force in this lineup right now, Braun, Ramirez, Adam Lynn getting it done. 5 home runs is all in this road trip. 3 of those coming in one game. And the big story has been 31 of the 86 hits that they've been able to get in this road trip have come with runners in scoring position. Look at the hit totals for the Brewers. I mean, you're talking about big-time hit totals with a good showing here today. They get 14 hits. They have a 100-hit road trip. That's incredible.
Wow. And 4 times with 16 or more hits. That is the most in the National League. Now with 7 occasions where they have at least 16 hits. That's happened 4 times on this road trip. And their season high in Philadelphia with 17. A lot of numbers to throw out there, but there is some injury news as well. Carlos Gomez is out of the lineup today. We'll check in with Sophia for his status when we come back.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time.
All-Star fever has hit the Queen City as Cincinnati prepares to host the 86th annual Major League Baseball All-Star Game in just a few weeks on July 14th. But the Brewers have caught hitting fever. They have 86 hits and 47 runs on this 6-game road trip, and they're going for the sweep here today at Great American Ballpark. But Craig Counsell will be missing one of the big bats in his lineup. Carlos Gomez is out today. He did leave the game in the 5th inning last night after being hit by a pitch. One of 4 Brewers who was hit last night. Gomi left the game with a left wrist contusion. The x-rays were negative, and he is considered day-to-day. So here's what Craig Counsell had to say about Gomez's status the rest of the week.
So it's a bad spot to get hit. So he's sore, and you need that to swing the bat. So we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Gomez out tonight, but the Brewers look to keep the bats going for the first 7-game road trip sweep. Just the second time in franchise history. Taylor Youngman will take the ball, looking to close out the series finale against the Reds.
Your stay now. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is a beautiful day for baseball today. 75 degrees, slightly overcast, just perfect for the grand old game. And I hope you're enjoying your Independence Day weekend. We had a great 4th of July here in Cincinnati yesterday. A lot of festivities in the downtown area. Big fireworks show after the game, and Craig Counsell's team is rolling right now. The Brewers winners of 7 in a row, trying to make it 8 straight with a win here today, and have a 7-game win streak road trip with a win today. That's only happened one other occasion, as Sophia mentioned. That was way back in the 80s. All right, here's the Potawatomi batting order for the Brewers today. It's Parra leading off again. Jonathan Lucroy bats second, and then Braun hitting third. Middle of the order is Adam Lind, Aramis Ramirez. Shane Peterson is in there for the injured Gomez. Bottom 3, Gene Segura, Scooter Gennett, and Taylor Youngman will get the ball today against Mike Leake.
Yeah, 6th season for Mike Leake. He's 58-46 since the beginning of 2010. He's won 3 straight decisions after losing 3 straight. Last time out, got pounded by the Twins only lasted 4 innings and gave up 7 earned runs and then 11-7 victory, and making start number 10 against Milwaukee. He's 2-3. Now check out the Menards Reds defense. That defense cost them in yesterday's ball game. An error by the pitcher opened up a big inning for the Brewers. Bird, Bourgeois, and Bruce in the outfield. Frazier, DeJesus, Phillips, and Votto from third to first, and Tucker Barnhart behind home plate.
And we're ready for baseball today with Mike Leake ready to go against Gerardo Parra to get us started. The red-hot Brewers against their division rivals. And the first pitch is a curveball in there for strike one, and away we go. Gerardo Parra has now qualified with enough at-bats to move into the official leaderboard in the National League. He is 9th in hitting in the National League, checking in today. A .306 batting average. Since April 25th, when he started to play just about every day, he's hitting .333.
And has been doing a pretty good job getting on base, particularly in that leadoff spot. A leadoff home run a couple of days ago. He's starting to get the base on balls a little bit more often. I guess that comes with playing time.
Parra hit a leadoff home run here in the opener on Friday night. And then was again right in the middle of most of the action in last night's victory. The 7-3 Brewers win. He was 2 for 4 and had a walk last night. On base 3 times was Parra. Brewers had a runaway win in the opener on Friday, 12-1. Winning pitcher was Mike Fiers, who went 7 shutout in that game. And then yesterday, Jimmy Nelson got the win and a 7-3 victory for the Brewers. Milwaukee was able to string together a big inning, a 6-run 5th inning yesterday. And again, double-digit hit totals. Parra has been a big part of the story on this road trip. He's hitting .529 in his last 4 games, has 9 hits, and you can add one more to it. How about Gerardo Parra?
Yeah, another off-speed pitch from Leake. He's going to do that a lot of off-speed stuff, particularly to lefties. And Parra to wait back and find the hole in the right field. Leake never spent a full season in the minor leagues. Got drafted in 09. Went to the fall league that year, and he's been in the big league since. That's a story that not many players can tell you.
He was drafted by the Reds out of Arizona State University, and a high-level collegiate program where he was a star. And straight to the big leagues, minus that one window in the fall league, which is not even considered an official minor league. He did have a little bit of development time, I guess you could say, in the fall league the year he signed. But he made the big jump right away. And what that means is this is his 6th season, as Rock mentioned, and that makes him a free agent at season's end. And Mike Leake's name, like Johnny Cueto, has been swirling in the trade rumor mill.
And Mike Leake's going to come at a much smaller price than Johnny Cueto, but he's been a very serviceable starter. 12 games over 500 in his 6 seasons.
Jonathan Lucroy with Parra at first base. Brewers had a runner on every inning last night with the exception of the 9th. And their 7-3 victory. Lucroy, a little half swing, fouls it away. The Brewers did not score in the first inning yesterday, which was news because that snapped a string of 5 consecutive games where the Brewers had scored in the first inning, scoring 10 runs in 5 straight games total. I mean, you can just look at pretty much any offensive statistic, whether it be team statistic, individual, runs by innings, hits by innings. There's been some kind of superlative attached to just about every major offensive statistic on this road trip. It has been incredible to watch. They'll ask if he went. Yes, he did. Lucroy unable to check his swing, and down he goes on strikes. The first out of the ball game is a strikeout for Mike Leake.
I think all the things you just talked about, the amazing thing when you look at what the Brewers have been able to do offensively and scoring all the runs, almost 8 a game. They've only hit 5 home runs. I mean, they're getting it done with runners in scoring position, hitting over 370 in that stretch here on the road trip. And normally when the Brewers don't hit home runs, they don't score runs, but that's not been the case.
We don't think about this. Those 5 home runs in this stretch, 3 of those came in one game.
Right.
On Friday here in Cincinnati, with Parra, Ramirez, and Gomez all hitting home runs. Ryan Braun, a wave and a miss.
Especially when you consider they were in Philly, which is a very good hitter's park, a lot of home runs, and this ballpark here in Cincinnati surrenders a lot of home runs. Haven't needed them. I mean, getting it done with the base hits.
Braun's hot without the benefit of the home run ball. He has not homered on this road trip, and yet he has 13 hits. He's 13 for 30. This is the 7th game of the road trip. He has 6 RBIs in 6 games. He's played every day. And he is starting to hit his way into all-star consideration. I was talking to Braun before the game today. We were walking in prior to this one. He said, you know what, if I make it, I would be thrilled, because it means I would have earned it here in the last month or so, when he got off to such a slow start in April, and then he was kind of up and down, a little bit inconsistent. The thumb was bothering him. Went back and got that injection to freeze that nerve that is giving him problems, and since that time he has really swung the bat well, and he looks like his old self. His batting average is up to 277. He's got an OPS near 840.
Yeah, Brewers team batting average up to 249 coming into today, and it's incredible. It's most of the damage has come on his road trip in this short stretch. They raised their batting average quite a bit, almost 10 points. That's hard to do at this point in the year.
86 hits on the road trip in 6 games, and they've scored 47 runs. Runner at first, the 1-2 just missed, not by much. Leake's a fast worker. Usually when he has his good command, he doesn't waste much time. You don't see him in a lot of deep counts. A strike thrower. Very athletic pitcher as well. He fields his position well, has an excellent pickoff move.
He can hit.
Yeah, he's a good hitter. Full count to Braun. Ryan with 55 runs batted in. That's 6th best in the National League coming into play today. He has 51 of those 55 since April 28th. Gives you an idea how slow his start was to the season. Parra takes off. The pitch is low and away. And Braun draws the walk, and the Brewers in business here in the first inning with 2 on. And the red hot Adam Lind coming up for Milwaukee. Another guy that's hitting his way into all-star consideration. Powerball home run number 13 last night. That tied the game at 1. That was before the Brewers opened it up with a 6-run inning.
And Adam Lind has had at least 1 RBI in his last 8 games. So not only is he hitting, but he's driving in runs.
There's a good note in the Brewers game notes about that fact. The 8-game stretch of at least 1 run batted in. He has 12 RBIs total in the stretch of 8 games. The franchise record is 9. So if he drives one in here today, he will tie 3 other players who have done it in Brewers history: George Scott, the Boomer, Cecil Cooper, and Carlos Lee.
Interesting 3 first basemen in that list, huh?
George Scott, a great first baseman, multi-Gold Glove Award winner. Cecil Cooper as well.
El Caballo.
Traded for one another.
That's right.
George Scott and Cecil Cooper.
And then El Caballo, the left fielder for the Brewers.
Yes. No Gold Gloves there for El Caballo. Well, Lynn sends that one into left field. Got some carry on it. Back to make the play is Bird, and that is the 2nd out. Lind retired, 2 away in the inning. First and second for Ramirez. Elevated in the lineup today with Carlos Gomez not available. As Sophia reported, Gomez is, yes, out of the lineup, but not of major concern for Craig Counsell and the Brewers today. He's probably going to be back in there tomorrow, but he got hit in a tender spot right on the forearm toward the wrist.
One of 4 hit batters for the Brewers last night.
Yeah, all by Josh Smith, the Red starter. There's a strike to Ramirez. So no Gomez today. The Brewers are hopeful to get Chris Davis back, perhaps tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. He's down on a minor league rehab with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, coming back from meniscus knee surgery. Ramirez on the ground. That's through for a base hit. Here comes Parra. He will score, and the heavy hitting Brewers keep it going.
Boy, Ramirez really red hot right now. Average up to 240 now, and well, where he started on this road trip, I mean, he's really starting to swing the bat well. Second half hitter as usual. Able to get this one. It looked like Todd Frazier slowed it down just enough to allow Gerardo Parra to score without a throw. Had that ball not been touched, there might have been a play at the plate.
Ramirez now has 10 RBIs in his last 15 at bats, not games, at bats. 10 ribbies for Ramos Ramirez.
Yeah, but that says he's hot and everybody else in front of him is getting on base.
That extends a hitting streak to 8 games for Ramos. Shane Peterson takes a strike.
Yeah, the hit totals, that's all Ramirez, but the RBIs has a lot to do with his teammates in front of him.
A lot of base runners, and the Brewers are cashing in with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, first 2 games 11 for 30, not too bad, and on this road trip over 370.
Wow.
Well, they now have 32 hits on this road trip with runners in scoring position. Amazing.
We don't mean to overwhelm you with all the numbers, but they're fascinating.
But we're going to do it while we can, as long as they're good, right?
Right. Yeah. Fish in a barrel right now for the Brewers. Shane Peterson fouls it away. We saw Shane last night. He came in to run for Gomez after Carlos was hit by the pitch and had to exit the game in the 5th inning. And then Peterson finished the game. Brewers have been able to force the opposing starting pitcher in the series to very high first inning pitch counts. It's number 25 for Leake. Lorenzen threw 30 pitches in the first inning in the opener. Yesterday, Josh Smith had a 21 pitch first inning. That can set you up beautifully for the rest of the day when a starter is having to work that hard that early. High stress pitches in the first inning with men on base.
Yeah, the bullpen's been active early in these games for Cincinnati.
Two to Peterson, away for a ball. 3-2 the count.
Yeah, the Reds have been talking about how much the bullpen has been worked. I think every team can say that, right? I mean, what team thinks their bullpen is in good shape and well rested at this point? I don't think any. That's a difference in your pitching staff. How good is your bullpen, particularly middle relief?
Peterson down the left field line, foul. Just missed it. Trying to punch one on a pitch away. Count remains at 3 balls 2 strikes. The Cincinnati catcher Tucker Barnhart wants to have a word with Leake. Maybe just get him a breather here. 27 pitch inning. He's got 2 on behind him. A run is in on an Aramis Ramirez RBI single. Brian Price is saying not another day using as many relievers as he's been forced to use. Runners go, and a swing and a miss. Leake struck him out. 2 Ks in the inning, but a good start for the Brewers. They now have 11 first inning runs on this road trip, and Ramirez drives in 1 to get us started. RBI single with 2 outs. Reds are coming up. Taylor Youngman on the mound. Ramirez with an RBI single in the first inning. Now Brian Price and the Reds coming up against right-hander Taylor Youngman. Let's take a look at the Potawatomi batting order for Price's Redlegs. Brandon Phillips back in the leadoff spot. Votto and Frazier, that remains the same with Bruce and Bird. And then Ivan DeJesus getting his first start of the series. He homered in a pinch hit roll last night. Tucker Barnhart, his second start. Jason Bourgeois and Mike Leake round out the order. Todd Frazier had all 4 of his hits in last night's game. Taylor Youngman on the mound for Milwaukee.
Yeah, no decision his last time out against the Phillies in Philadelphia. You have 2 earned runs, 5 hits in 6 innings of work, and a no decision. He's 2-1 this year. Both wins coming on the road at Pittsburgh and at Colorado. He's been pretty good. He's given up 2 or fewer earned runs in 4 of his 5 starts so far this year.
Former first-round draft pick out of the University of Texas, and is enjoying success in the big leagues. Pop-up on the first pitch by Brandon Phillips, and there is out number 1.
Let's check out the Menards Brewers defense. Amongst all the other very good things about this road trip, defense has been good. Peterson, Parr, and Braun in the outfield. Ramirez, Segura, Jeanette, and Adam Lind from third to first. And the day game after a night game being caught once again by Jonathan Lucroy. He's getting a lot of playing time these days.
Now Peterson making his 16th start of the season in left field. His 17th overall start. Came to the Brewers on June 3rd. He's been playing a lot. Slow roller by Votto. And Taylor Youngman has 2 pitches and 2 outs here in this first inning.
And that's what we've seen. Youngman making his first appearance against just about every team he's faced this year. First time any of these Reds hitters have seen him, and ordinarily a pitcher's going to have an advantage, and particularly when you have a crossfire action like Taylor Youngman. It takes a while to get used to that.
Here's Todd Frazier. He got a nice hand. He is emerging as the new face of this franchise. 25 homers, 54 runs batted in. He's having a huge year. He is tied with Bryce Harper for second in the National League and in the major leagues with home runs, and Youngman throws behind him.
That might have something to do with yesterday's game. 4 hit batters. Gomez out of the lineup. I think Todd Frazier has been around long enough to understand what that was all about.
Two and 0 to Frazier. Now the Brewers, there was some chatter about it today, the 4 hit by pitches. Now certainly none of those, and if you watch the game yesterday from Josh Smith, were intentional. He was just losing command quickly. As Frazier pops this one up, foul territory. Lynn's going to give it a look. Lucroy is over, and it's in the dugout. But there is a little bit of a standard in baseball if you're hitting batters that much.
Especially
on
when
purpose or not, there's usually going to be a retaliation.
Especially when you knock one of your stars out of the lineup. I mean, Gomez got hit in the wrist, and he's not able to play. I mean, that adds a little bit different element to the whole thing, and that's why you saw, the pitch that Youngman threw. Although he didn't get him, threw it right behind him.
2-1. Frazier fouls it back. So this was the scene last night in the 5th inning. This was the 4th of the hit by pitches. And the other 3 were pretty benign, but this one got him good, and Gomez had to exit the game in the 5th inning. And Carlos was pretty vocal about it earlier today with the writers, talking about how he's tired of getting hit. And I will say this, Gomez, he stands right in there. He dives a little bit, and pitchers know they have to pitch him inside. That doesn't mean Gomez can't have something to say about it. As Frazier sends one to right, that's back. Braun at the track makes a catch to end the inning. That is a 7-pitch first inning for Taylor Youngman.
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, and the beat goes on for the Brewers offense here in Cincinnati. They jump out to a 1-0 lead here in the second. Craig Counsell saying it has certainly been an impressive road trip at the plate for his team. Says the approach has just been, hey, go out there, win, and then play well again the next day. But the 3 keys for them offensively, he said, they've just been staying in the zone. They're showing great plate discipline and laying off balls. He said, we're finally getting our pitches to hit, laying off the ones we don't want. And he feels this hitting streak started even before the road trip on the homestand with good approaches.
Well, it's all about confidence. And when you're confident, you feel like you're swinging the bat well as a team, you're going to be a little bit more patient, waiting back, and not swinging the pitches out of the strike zone. And you get some luck, too, like that one right there.
I'm just about to say that. When you're going good, you get hits like that bounces over Frazier's head. And Gene Segura will reach to start this second inning.
When you see major league hitters swinging a lot of pitches out of the zone, which the Brewers have been doing a lot of this year, particularly early in the year, that means you're panicking up there. You're trying too hard. You're grinding at the plate, jumping at the baseball, and when you do that, that's when you swing your pitches out of the strike zone.
Brewers, the hottest team in all of baseball. You saw those numbers there. The winning 10 of their last 12, and the 7-game winning streak. Scooter Gennett lines one down the right field line. Got a chance to score. Segura here. Bruce fields it. Segura around third will score without a throw. It's an RBI double for Scooter Gennett, and the Brewers lead it 2-0.
Just keep hitting, and the bottom of the order getting it done too. Scooter with an RBI in yesterday's ball game. And when your 7-8 hitters get rallies going and Scooter able to drive in a run, you know things are going well. And you know that one all the way down in the corner, and Segura with good speed able to score easily. And that will allow Taylor Youngman to go up there and drop down a bunt.
Double number 6 for Gennett. Drove in a run yesterday, did Scooter. And Youngman takes a ball. So yeah, Segura now with 4 hits in the last 2 games. He had 3 hits last night. Gennett had a hit last night and an RBI. Everybody's hitting. Snap throw to second. Gennett is back.
And if Youngman is able to do it, he should bunt it toward third base to make Frazier vacate the bag. Joey Votto is going to be right on top of him. And if he bunts it hard to first base, I don't think Gennett's going to be able to advance.
Youngman has 1 sacrifice bunt. This is his 6th major league start. Typically handles the bat well. Youngman is a good hitter, and his numbers in AAA indicate that he's a guy that takes care of the little things around the offensive side of things for a pitcher. Hitting behind runners and bunting when asked to. At his first major league hit against the Colorado Rockies. That was in his 3rd start. That was in Colorado.
When you look at pitchers' offensive numbers, you look at one thing: how many strikeouts does he have per at bats? I mean, if you look at the at bats and strikeouts, give you a sense of how well he does up at the plate, not necessarily just hits.
Gets a bunt down. Leak thought about third. He'll make the play to first. And so Youngman does the job. A sacrifice bunt to advance Gennett. 1 away. Runner at third. And the top of the order coming up.
Yep, drop down your bunts, advance base runners. Even put the ball in play once in a while and advance a base runner. Good job by Youngman.
And they appreciate the effort.
And you help yourself. Get you another man at third base, less than 2 outs.
Brian Price is going to bring his infield in here with Gerardo Parra at the plate, and right away grounds one to first, and Votto will tag him out. He missed him first. Votto makes the play, and Parra cannot deliver the run. Missed opportunity for Parra.
Another off-speed pitch. I think Parra's seen nothing but off-speed pitches so far from Mike Leake. Leake throws a lot of breaking pitches, off-speed stuff to left-handed hitters.
Two outs now. Runner at third with a run in. Here's Lucroy. Lucroy struck out in the first inning. He was 0 for 4 last night. He did walk twice, but was one of the few without a hit.
He walked with the bases loaded, though. Drove in a run.
Yep, that was part of that 6-run inning. And Lucroy has it to a 3-0 count. Outstanding catcher's gear yesterday, Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah.
He really did look like Captain America yesterday. We always kid him about that after that series of commercials during the offseason.
Yep, the flag chest protector and the flag arm sleeve that he had on.
He's going to put that catching gear up for auction, and he's going to donate the funds to a couple of military charities. That one misses outside. Ball 4. Lucroy walks. First and third with 2 away for Ryan Braun.
Yeah, Leake not missing by much. I mean, the first pitch in that at bat to Lucroy, a breaking pitch, didn't miss by much, and that 3-1 pitch pretty close.
Here's Braun, who walked in the first, sitting on a 9-game hitting streak, and it's a heavy streak. 17 hits in the 9 games. He has driven in 10 runs in those 9 games. He has now hit in 12 of his last 13 games. And since April 28th, only Nolan Arenado of the Rockies has more RBIs in the big leagues than Ryan Braun. There's a strike, a fastball, 1-1 to Ryan.
And Ryan doing a lot of his damage into right field. I mean, not just right center, but down the right field line these days. Hitting the ball hard to the opposite field. Hasn't been pulling the ball too much. Even his home runs have been going to center and to right center.
Braun up the middle. DeJesus gloves it, flips it to end the inning. Good play, Ivan DeJesus Jr. And the Brewers strand 2, but they get one. Scooter Gennett with an RBI double. Drives in Segura for the game's second run. The Brewers up early. Milwaukee looking for a sweep, and looking for a sweep is the United States women's national team. The final of the World Cup tonight. They take on defending champion Japan. Coverage begins 4 p.m. Central, only on Fox. It streams live on Fox Sports Go. That's going to be an epic matchup between USA and Japan, a rematch from 4 years ago. USA looking for their 3rd World Cup title. And Fox was kind enough to arrange jerseys for us. Check it out. As tweeted by FS Wisconsin, but those cool World Cup jerseys that they sent.
And the photo credit, Brad Weimer. You got to make sure you get it in there. He's a little bit upset about that.
Professional photographer Brad Weimer at Brad WEIMER. Weimer.
Nice jerseys. I'll be wearing them tonight watching the game. Early's mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you won't be wearing mine. That's for sure.
And I doubt I could fit into Sophia's.
You could put your left arm through that one, maybe. Jay Bruce leads off for the Reds. And Youngman, who worked a 7-pitch first inning, 3 up, 3 down inning.
Yeah, while you were working yesterday, me and the rest of the crew had a nice bonding day yesterday, and
I saw that.
hanging out behind the Brewers dugout during the game.
I noticed everybody's hat fits a little bit tighter today. So I'm glad you guys had fun.
Last night, it's such a long time since I actually went to a ball game without doing the game, just relaxing and enjoying the game. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. We all did. Me and Sophia and Ryan Mikulajic, Brad Weimer, sitting back there taunting Eddie Cedar.
Nice. Well, I mean, it was nice that you guys came early and you stayed till the end and thoroughly enjoyed your experience as a fan. Watch the fireworks show. I mean, good for you guys.
Now, got there in the second inning, left in the seventh.
There's a swing and a miss as Bruce strikes out.
Incidentally, good job by you. I watched the last 2 innings back at the hotel.
Yeah.
We were thinking about you during that 4-hour game.
You're like a Dodger fan last night.
Yeah. But it was fun. I had a good time.
Well, the Brewers had a good time as well. The game was not to be desired. The length of the game, the pace of the game.
The outcome was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was all good on the Brewers side, no question. But again, it gets back to a more serious point that not that the challenge delay or the length of the challenge had everything to do with the length of the game, but that was one of the elements. It was a
4+, right?
4+, and then an ejection that followed.
Pitching change. Catching change. Yeah.
That's going to be one of the games that kind of busts the curve a little bit with the pace of play. Actually, pace of play is improved. I just think moving forward it is a major discussion to try to get these games. It's not because we want the games over faster. It's not it. It's all the stuff around what happens when the ball is in play. And baseball's working on it. There's a swing and a miss. Bird strikes out. And Taylor Youngman has a good breaking ball working early. Back-to-back strikeouts of Bruce and Bird to start the second inning.
Yeah, that's been a very inconsistent pitch for him. But, Lucroy is going to continue to keep him throwing that pitch. I mean, I remember the starting Colorado game in which he won. He didn't have much of a curveball early. And that's always a challenge to throw a curveball in Colorado. But, he kept calling it, kept making him force him to throwing it. And as the game went on, it got better and better. Seems like he's got a good one already today. Good compliment to that crossfire fastball that he throws.
Here is Ivan De Jesus Jr. takes strike one from Youngman. He had a pinch hit appearance last night, and then he finished the game at shortstop. De Jesus hit his third home run. That was after that long half inning where the Brewers scored the 6 runs. There was the long challenge. There were 3 pitchers used, 2 pitching changes. It was a 37-minute half inning. And the first batter up for Jimmy Nelson after that long inning in the dugout for him was De Jesus. And he wasted no time, ripped one out of here to the opposite field. Jimmy got the win last night. He's picked up 2 wins on this road trip.
He did a good job pitching to score once he got the lead. Throwing strikes last night. Curveball pretty good. Coming along. It's all coming along for Jimmy Nelson.
Youngman a chance to strike out the side. 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses high. Spins him out of there. Full count. Youngman's high strikeout game in the minor leagues was 8 this year. That was in late May. That was one of his last few starts before he was called up to the big leagues. There's a liner to right. Braun right there to make the play, and another tidy inning for Taylor Youngman. 3 up and 3 down with a couple of Ks. opposing ballpark, but he's a good Samaritan. You got to give love to get love, right? Check this out. Gives the ball to the fan. He gives it to his son, but oh no, the kid throws it back on the field. But wait for it. It's coming. Dad's all upset and worried, but look who's there to save the day.
Comes all the way back to give it to him.
How about that? As the inning ended.
Well, the young man thought Ryan was playing catch with him.
Son, keep that ball. Don't throw it back. Okay, Dad. He's going to throw it back. I guarantee it. Or he's going to throw it through the neighbor's window.
Yeah.
One of the two. It's going to happen. Here's Adam Lind to lead off. Adam Lind, Aramis Ramirez, and Shane Peterson against Mike Leake. Ryan Braun was talking yesterday. He was the first that I've heard on the ball club say, you know what? We're hunting for that second playoff spot. That second wild card position. Hey, good for them, man.
Yeah.
Brewers are hot. They won 7 in a row. Ryan Braun says, hey, why not? Let's just do something historic here.
Just keep winning. I mean, think about that April schedule. It's just about all against the National League Central Division. All those teams have been pretty good this year. The Cardinals, Pirates, Cubs have had a good season. They're in a spot in the schedule right now where, you know, they could keep winning. I mean, you got Atlanta coming in. They've been scuffling a little bit. Of course, they have to go to L.A. to finish the first half. Just play it out, see what happens.
Well, there are 7 teams ahead of the Brewers right now. 8 teams, actually, as Lynn draws a walk. 8 teams ahead of the Brewers for the second wild card spot. And Milwaukee is currently 10 games out of that spot. So what? Says Ryan Braun.
Right.
We'll just make a run at it. We got a lot of baseball to be played.
Yeah, get to 500, see where you're at. I mean, you're not going to make the playoffs under 500, so they got a ways to go to get there. 13 under. A lot better than what they started. They were 20 games under at one point.
Aramis with an RBI in the first. Had a single with 2 outs to drive in the run.
You don't expect him to play this good forever, although you didn't expect him to be that bad forever either. Somewhere in between is the real Milwaukee Brewers ball club, but enjoy it while it lasts right now. They're playing well. I don't think anybody can keep up his pace for an extended period of time. I mean, 10 more hits today, and they've got 100 hits on this road trip. I mean, 100
in 7 games.
And they had 165 hits in all of April. To put it in perspective.
Yeah,
that's 22 games.
Spells it out. Ramirez fouls it back. Aramis Ramirez loves hitting here. He's spent a lot of time here. His entire 17-year career has come in the National League Central. And not all of it since this ballpark opened. However, there's only been 2 other players that have homered more as a visiting player in this ballpark than Aramis Ramirez. He's at 18. And his 18th career home run on Friday. Lance Berkman and Albert Pujols are ahead of him. Berkman hit 23 homers here, and Albert Pujols with 20. Ryan Braun's actually at 17 right now.
Been a very good run producer throughout his career. This is one of the better hitting ballparks in all of baseball.
This ballpark opened in 2003. And they get an all-star game this year.
Yeah, their 5th all-star game. The 5th all-star game in Cincinnati. First one back in 1938.
And the first since 1988.
Yeah. Won by the American League. Paul Molitor in that game.
That is a balk by Leake. And Lind will be awarded second base. So Leake called for the balk. That's the second Reds pitcher that has balked. There was a run that scored on a balk last night. Brian Price asking. John Tumpane says he started then stopped.
Boy, that that might be one muscle in his arm that might have flinched. Good eyesight.
Bob Davidson would be proud. Who's earned the nickname Balkin Bob Davidson, a major league umpire. There's a called strike 3, and Ramirez, who rarely snaps at umpires, just did so on John Tumpane. Third strikeout for Leake.
Yeah, right away he was upset, but that was it. Let's see where it is. Pretty close. I mean, it could have gone either way, but maybe a little bit too close to take.
Leake's got that good comeback action on his sinker. He can work those outside corners to a right-handed batter.
Yep, can't give up on that outside corner, and left-handers can't give up on it when it starts in off the plate.
Shane Peterson, who struck out his first time up. Leake struck him out on a breaking ball on a 3-2 count. That stranded 2 runners. Brewers got 1 in the first, added 1 in the second on a Jeanette RBI double. They've got a runner at second here in the 3rd inning. And a slow roller foul.
Getting pretty good movement on that 2-seamer. That's a good one there to Peterson. He thought he had something to hit and then kind of dove away from him. Got him down on the end of the bat.
Now the scouts would define it as arm side sink and glove side sink, and he has both, meaning to a left-handed batter, which is glove side sink. It's from the pitcher's perspective. He can have his fastball move back over the plate for a strike. And that's the one that made guys like Greg Maddux famous.
Yeah, not to compare the two, but I was just getting ready to say, I mean, Maddux could do that as well. A lot of guys will have some arm side tail or sink and glove side cut to their pitches just because of the angle.
There's a ground ball to third. Frazier's got it, and Peterson is retired. Second out of the inning.
Hey, the Brewers return home tomorrow night to begin a 3-game set with the Braves, and that will run Monday through Wednesday. And because it's Miller Lite Monday, or Miller Monday, tickets for tomorrow night's game start at just $9. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
You know, I was wondering why I was getting so many ticket requests for tomorrow's game. Because it's Miller Monday.
You know what? Have them pay the $9.
No kidding. Now it all makes sense. All my friends coming out of the woodworks. Hey, I think I'd like to come to Monday's game.
You know what? Have him give him the ticket office number.
That's right. Exactly.
$9? That's a great deal.
It is. Gene Segura with Lind at second. And he muscles one, little pop up. Phillips is on the way back over the shoulder. What a catch, man. Brandon Phillips. 4 gold gloves right there. Brandon Phillips showing all of that skill. What a play. That is so tough. All-Star game played at Riverfront Stadium. How many have they had, Rock?
This will be the 5th.
So 1970, right?
1970, won by the National League. And that was when the Brewers were, of course, in the American League. Won by the National League. Mays, Aaron, Bench, Tom Seaver were in the game.
Nice.
The National League.
That was year 1 in Milwaukee. Tucker Barnhart sends one deep into center, and Parra runs it down. Excellent jump, and Barnhart is retired. 7 in a row for Youngman.
Yep, amongst American League guys, Yastrzemski, Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, Jim Palmer. Just to name a few.
Wow, some great names there.
Yep, 1938 won by the National League. 1953 also won by the National League. Guys like Mantle, Bear, Al Rosen, the American League. Musial, Enos Slaughter, Robin Roberts. Over in the National League. Good stuff. Thanks to our stage director, Audrey, for all that information.
She's the best.
Yep.
They got a great history here in Cincinnati, and All-Star game history is important as well. Jason Bourgeois pops this one up. Jeanette took a peek at Braun. He'll take it himself in foul territory for out number 2. Of course, the 1970 All-Star game was the famous Ray Fosse Pete Rose game, where the all-time hit king plowed Ray Fosse, and that really affected the rest of Ray Fosse's career. He was never the same after that. He's now a broadcaster with the Oakland Athletics, and had a shoulder injury.
That was in the 12th inning. That was an extra inning All-Star game. Won by the NL 5-4.
Pete Rose played it only one way. All-Star game, regular season game.
Yep.
Didn't matter. Played hard.
Pickup game at a family picnic.
Swing and a miss by Leake. 0-2 the count. Youngman trying to make it a 3-up, 3-down third inning. And go 9-up, 9 down. First time through the batting order. Does so. A strikeout. Youngman looks good today. 3 strikeouts, 9 in a row. He's retired to start his afternoon. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham, 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. Scooter Gennett, Cincinnati born. He will lead off this 4th inning. Had an RBI double In the second inning, the Brewers got a run in the first on a Ramirez 2-out RBI, and then Scooter got to work quickly in the second after Segura had led off with a single, a double that scored Segura all the way from first base. And Scooter Gennett now at 16 runs batted in. He continues to hit. That number is on the rise since he returned to the big league roster after 3 weeks in the minor leagues. He's hitting over 300 in that stretch. He will lead off, and he lines one to left. That is slicing, and that's down for a base hit. Bird got to it quickly. He'll hold Gennett to a single. He's 2 for 2 today.
Yeah, covering the whole field, right? Double down the right field line, single down the left field line. Covering the play, that trip down to the minor leagues, that might have been the best thing that ever happened to Scooter. He's been a much different player since his return.
He's hitting over 300. He has 13 RBIs since coming back. Was hitting just 154 when he was sent down. He gives Youngman a chance to drop a bunt down once again. Snap throw to first, and Gennett is out. Boy, you can't do that.
What a job by Brandon Phillips sneaking in behind him. And the snap throw by Barnhart, not even close. And the easy out at first base. Watch the secondary lead and watch Phillips. He's right there. And able to get him in the chest.
Put out goes 2-4.
And when you have the pitcher up there bunting, I mean, you can do that as a second baseman. You can really cheat over there a long ways, and that's why that play was able to happen. He didn't have far to go to be able to take that pickoff throw.
That is a base running mistake. Now Youngman will swing away here. Anytime you can get the opportunity to let your pitcher bunt and advance a runner, you take him out of a position where he can be an easy out. As it grounds to third base, Frazier with the second out. And this shaping up to be an easy inning for Leake.
Yeah, it's Chris Davis bobblehead day at Miller Park, Sunday, July 19th. The Brewers take on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and all fans get a bobblehead of the Brewers outfielder in a special camouflage jersey that's courtesy of the Wisconsin National Guard. Go to Brewers.com to reserve your spot at the ballpark today.
Two outs, base is empty. Here is Parra. Parra singled and scored in the first inning. He bounced out with a runner at third base in the second. That's an at bat he'd like to have back.
Now getting back to that pickoff play, I mean, Scooter Gennett's trying to get as much of a secondary lead as he could. You know, in the event of a bad bunt, still might be able to get to second base. But the problem was that Phillips was shaded so far over toward the line. He was able to sneak in there, and that was an easy out. Not too many times you see the second baseman cover on a pickoff play to first base.
Leake with a nice play, a stab, a hot ground ball, might have been headed for center field. And a 3-batter inning for Leake. Great play by Phillips.
By Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, a 2-0 lead for the Brewers. Taylor Youngman is about to start his second time through the order. He was perfect his first time through with 3 strikeouts. And talking to him yesterday, he said his breaking ball has been a big emphasis for him between starts. He said he knows he has the tall, lanky guy. He said, I know my delivery has been a little bit inconsistent and led to some walks and some hit batters in his last outing against Philadelphia. So he said he's really been working on that breaking ball command in his bullpens. And we saw that coming through in his first time through the order.
And Taylor not afraid to come inside and hit a batter or two. I mean, in 5 starts so far this year, Youngman has hit 5 batters. I mean, so, it's just by nature because of that crossfire delivery. He's going to get a guy or two. You can't be afraid to come inside, though. I mean, hitters are going to expect you to go away with that fastball. You got to come inside, keep them honest. Once in a while, you're going to hit somebody.
Phillips popped up to second base on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. Second time through the order now against Youngman, and right on cue, that is a swinging strike on Phillips. Youngman coming up and in on Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, just tried to hold up, just couldn't do it. Youngman coming into this inning had 28 pitches through 3 innings, and kind of interesting because Mike Leake had 28 pitches in the first inning.
Youngman had a 7-pitch first inning, 6 pitches last inning. He's been extremely efficient. On the ground, right to Segura, long throw, and it is in time to get Phillips. Good play by Segura. It's 10 in a row retired by Youngman.
Yeah, but he got Phillips on a curveball right after coming up and in. He goes with the curveball, the wily old veteran Youngman of 5 starts. Up and in, down and away, and he gets the ground ball.
Here's Joey Votto, like Phillips, grounded out on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. First time any of these Reds have faced Taylor Youngman, and Votto's cutting it loose on the first offering again.
It's always to the pitcher's advantage, at least early, and I think it's even more an advantage for a guy like Youngman the way he throws. Tough for hitters to pick up, particularly tough for right-handers. Not as difficult for a lefty like Joey Votto.
Youngman's minor league career was up and down. His amateur career was stellar. There's a strike to Votto. Youngman was the 2011 Big 12 Pitcher of the Year while pitching for Texas. And he was also the National Player of the Year. They call that the Dick Hauser Trophy for the top collegiate player in the country. Oh, nice play. How about Youngman? A scoop on a hot shot. He and Leake are defending their position very well in this game.
And that ball was hit pretty hard. It was a worm burner. Didn't have much of a bounce to it. Watch the way he gets rid of it, gets the glove down, and actually it did come up on him, but able to make a nice play. Like a hockey goalie. Glove save.
Leake made a nice play on Gerardo Parra, very similar to in the top of this 4th inning. So 2 outs. Here comes Frazier. Youngman threw one behind the back of Frazier his first time up.
Frazier flied out to right, and looking at his reaction after Braun caught it, I think he thought he hit it out of the ballpark. It's expected baseball to carry a little bit today. A day game, wind blowing out, what wind there is to right. And Frazier uses right field very well and with power.
Frazier leads the major leagues in extra base hits coming into play today. He has 50. Becoming the 2nd Reds player to have 50 extra base hits by the All-Star break. And he's got a chance at the Reds record set by Johnny Bench. There's a swinging strike. Frazier unable to check it.
I would have thought it might be George Foster.
That's a good call. Well, remember that 1970 All-Star game you're talking about? Well, Johnny Bench was an All-Star that year. He had 54 extra base hits in 1970 before the break. That's the Reds record Frazier is among league leaders in many of the major offensive categories. Little cue shot right back to Youngman. And Taylor Youngman is developing into a significant story this afternoon in Cincinnati. He's retired 12 in a row. Final game of this series as we go to the 5th, and it's time for you to tweet us. Tweet your strongest fan photos. We'll take your strangest too. Use hashtag WisDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. If you can remember the hashtag, that's the gatekeeper to get you in the game. Here's Lucroy to lead off against Mike Leake. 5th inning from Great American Ballpark on a Great American weekend, Independence Day weekend.
Yeah, back-to-back years the Brewers were in Cincinnati for 4th of July.
Lucroy into right field. Bruce a few steps back, and Lucroy is out. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today.
And that brings us to today's time of the game winner. Silver's Bar in Independence. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a 2015 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Timely. Here's Braun with 1 out.
So you don't think that's a coincidence that Independence, Wisconsin is today's time of the game winner? I think it's a setup.
I think it's all random. It's all by chance.
That's all you got to say?
Was there a
you were kind of hinting at it was a little more than that.
On Memorial Day, was there a Memorial Wisconsin?
I don't remember.
How about Labor Day? Is there a Labor Wisconsin? Well, then we'll know.
I'll let you know.
We'll know something's up when we get to Labor Day. Are there any other holidays?
I mean, like national, you know, like
no,
Memorial
like
Day. We've had Veterans Day.
Is there a Veterans Wisconsin?
You know.
I don't know. It could be just random, Rock. I don't know. Ryan Braun hammers one into right field. That is going to be over the head of Bruce and off the wall. Braun on his way to second with a double. He hits a bullet. See, you give a ball to a kid and you're rewarded by the baseball gods with a double.
And you hit one out there in his direction. So we were talking about Braun in right field. Even with Mike Leake out there, it doesn't throw that hard. Maybe in 91, 92 maybe. A pitch that's middle in coming in on Braun, but boy, he pulls the hands in and just, you know, shoots that ball into the gap in right center with some backspin on it. Yeah, amazing the way he's able to do that.
Yeah, there's the young man that he gave a ball to. Hey, you know, spinning around making yourself dizzy is still one of the great games of all time. And you don't need to go buy that on the internet. Adam Lind with a base hit. And here comes Braun. He will score as Adam Lind keeps his streak alive. Boy, what a run he is on, driving in runs. He now has RBIs in 9 consecutive games. That ties a franchise record.
And it's one of the reasons why this offense has been so good, because of Braun, Lind, Ramirez getting it done. They're hot. Relaxes everybody else in that batting order. The guys at the bottom don't feel as though they need to carry the load when those guys are doing it. And there's the list of former Brewers and current Brewer that has been able to drive in runs in 9 consecutive games. That's an incredible stretch.
And here is Ramirez, backhanded by De Jesus. Phillips makes the easy turn for the double play to get out of the inning. So a couple of streaks alive. Braun has a 10-game hit streak, and Lind 9 games with a ribby. The 5th, we head to the bottom of the 5th now. And in honor of this 4th of July weekend, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Hope you're having a great weekend with friends and family, and as we have said each and every day of this 4th of July weekend, don't just be patriotic this weekend.
Right.
Keep it going all year round and support those military charities like Folds of Honor.
Yeah, shake the hand of a military man or woman as you see him walk by.
Taylor Youngman back to work. He has been impressive to say the least today. He's retired the first 12 batters he's faced. He has 3 strikeouts. Struck out Jay Bruce in the 2nd inning. Bruce Bird and De Jesus Jr. will start it here in the 5th.
They've got Bruce on a good curveball his first time up.
And a swing and a miss. Down and in fastball from Taylor Youngman. He's been able to locate his fastball very well today.
He's always been very good, at least in his first 5+ starts so far today, of keeping his fastball down in the strike zone. When you look at his home run numbers, he's only allowed 2. Only allowed 2 in the minor leagues this year, and you would think that he has a big sinker. He doesn't. Pretty straight fastball. It'll cut. You can see that fastball straight. Not a whole lot of sink to it, but he keeps it down in the zone very well. Although he's allowed a number of fly ball outs already today. 4 of them. Actually, including the foul out by Bourgeois to Scooter Gennett, has been 5 fly ball outs.
3 strikeouts for Youngman. All 3 of his outs last inning were ground outs. Ooh, just missed. Youngman came out of that 2011 draft. That was the year Garrett Cole was taken #1 overall by the Pirates. Cole has emerged as an ace for Pittsburgh. He was out of UCLA. Look out. Foul ball scattering the Brewer coaching staff. In that draft, Youngman was taken 12th. Brewers had 2 first-round draft picks that year. Bruce hooks one down the right field line, and it is fair. A one-hopper up against the fence, and the first hit for the Reds is a double by Jay Bruce.
Yeah, he was out in front. I mean, Youngman with the curveball. Bruce was out on his front foot, but still able to keep the hands back. And just kind of flicked the bat out there, and he had some good carry down the right field line. There's that curveball, not a bad one. And an off-balance swing by Bruce. He keeps the bat in the hitting zone and doubles to lead off the 5th.
He's got great power, does Bruce. Now 16 doubles to go along with his 12 home runs. First hit of the game. First time Youngman's been in the stretch all day as we play in the 5th inning. Here's Marlon Byrd. He swings at a first pitch curveball. Youngman making his 6th big league start. This will be his 4th on the road.
And both of his wins have come away from Miller Park, Pittsburgh and Colorado.
Pittsburgh was his major league debut. 7 innings, just 1 run in his first game of the big leagues. He looked very composed and under control, and that's been the book on him. He's a guy that has pitched in big games at the collegiate level, College World Series games, been a horse at the collegiate level. He's pitched actually in some big games in the minor leagues as well in that context, and has really showed well in the major leagues. Probably pitching as well in this stretch in the big leagues as he has in any 5-game stretch of his career.
Yeah, he was pitching pretty well in AAA before he got called up, which is why he got the opportunity. But I don't think to this level. A 279 earned run average in his first 5 starts.
Bird takes a ball. 2-1.
2 or fewer earned runs in 4 of his 5 starts so far this year. Not bad.
This is an area where the Reds really struggled yesterday. They had a lot of opportunities in the game yesterday with runners in scoring position. They were just 1 for 8. They stranded 10. Bird had the 1 hit. He drove in a run in yesterday's game. Also had a home run. He's in a hitter's count.
Ate him up inside on a hitter's count. 3-1. Ate him up inside with a fastball, 92 miles an hour.
The tall Texan Taylor Youngman at 6'6". He's got Bruce out at second. Brewers just got a run in the top of this inning, leading 3-0 now. And Bird into left field, coming in. Peterson, did he get it? No. Trapped it. Throw to third, and Bruce is in there. That was close. Third base umpire Bill Welke made the call right away. Peterson laid out for it. Would have been a great catch for him.
And just never able to keep it, in the glove. You see, it's right off the fingers, and by the time he picks it up, Jay Bruce, who is halfway able to cruise into third. So both of the hits in this inning have come on curveballs from Taylor Youngman. Bruce's double, and now the 3-2 pitch by Marlon Byrd.
Byrd extends his hitting streak to 10 consecutive. First and third for Ivan DeJesus Jr. He lined out sharply to right his last time up. He's a good opposite field hitter. A one-time elite level prospect in the Dodgers system. He's emerged here in the big leagues, DeJesus, as a utility man, but he can play short. He's a natural shortstop, and that is what usually separates utility players that end up in the big leagues for a long time.
Yeah, right. If you can play short, and that takes a big burden off of your manager when you have a guy on the bench. Came in yesterday's ball game, made a nice play in this game up the middle.
On the ground, Ramirez will go to second for the out. That's all they'll get, but Bruce has to hold his ground at third base. So Youngman gets an out. Still first and third, now with one away.
Good base running by Jay Bruce. Normally on first and third and nobody out, you take off on a ground ball, but he realized right away that wasn't a double play ball, so he just stayed at third. And Brewer's able to get the out at second, so double play still in order.
Here's Tucker Barnhart, switch hitting catcher. On the ground. Oh, Youngman knocked it down with his bare hand. Can they still turn it? And they do. Wow, what a play. That goes 1-6-4-3. Taylor Youngman deflected it with his bare hand. Would have been a routine double play without that. But the Brewers still able to turn it. Beautifully done at the Keystone.
Presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. It's a 3-0 lead for the Crew as we head to the 6th. Don't miss your chance to join Brewers pitcher Matt Garza and his teammates for the Brewers Bowl-a-thon on Sunday, July 19th. Coming up in just a few weeks, you can enjoy a VIP reception, silent auction, and of course bowling with the Brewers players, raising money for the Sojourner Family Peace Center, a safe haven for abused women and children. For more information, be sure you go to brewers.com beyond the diamond, or you can call 414-902-4532.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the 6th inning in Cincinnati. Shane Peterson leads off. Taylor Youngman maintaining his shutout. Check this play to get a double play to end the inning. I thought when Youngman deflected it, that was the end of it, but athletic trainer Dan Wright checking on him, says he's all right.
Looks like he might have got him right down by that little finger.
Peterson lines out to left for the first out. Got a matchup of former first rounders here today, Mike Leake and Taylor Youngman.
Mike Fiers did that on Friday, didn't he?
He did.
Knocked down a ground ball with his hand and threw the baseball away, but he was able to continue.
Well, instincts take over, right? But the game's easy from up here.
Yeah.
But it was clearly going to be a routine ground ball to Segura, which would have made it a routine double play. Segura finds a little space between Votto and the bag, and a snap throw to first, and Segura is just back. Jay Bruce has a cannon, and he is not afraid to use it.
Yeah, you don't run on him. You just don't do it. I mean, that's everybody in baseball knows that he's got a very strong, accurate arm. And even if you don't go to second base, you take too big of a turn at first, he's going to throw behind you, and sometimes he will get you. And Votto not there.
So Gene Segura now with 2 hits in the game, 2 for 3 after a 3-hit day yesterday.
Already 8 hits for the Brewers.
They're on their way to another double-digit hit total.
I'm looking for 14 today.
That's your magic number?
Get him to 100 on the road trip. Well, that's a nice round number, isn't it?
At the plate, presented by Wendy's Ford Jeanette. He's contributed with 2 hits. Had a double and an RBI in the 2nd inning, and then he had a single in the 4th.
That's not asking too much, is it?
No. I mean, if you're going to get greedy, this is the time when they're hot.
Usually refer to the 3rd game of a 3-game series. You already won 2. It's gravy day. Brewers aren't that gravy anymore. They got to win every game they can.
There's no more gravy to offer anybody else at the table. You got to keep the gravy for yourself. Jeanette down the left field line, slicing, and a terrific catch by Bird.
Wow.
That takes a hit away from Scooter Jeanette.
Scooter's really swinging the bat well today. And looking for his 2nd base hit to left field. He singled to left his last time up. And Marlon Bird able to get it as he slides feet first. If that ball gets by him, that'd be interesting.
At 37 years of age, still playing well, robbing Jeanette of a base hit. So here is Youngman with 2 outs. Taylor looking for hit number 2 as a major leaguer. And Leake just burns off a couple on the edge. 0-2 the count. Got him. Made quick work of Youngman. 3 pitches. Inning is over. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The Reds are coming up. Brewers up 3-0. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. We head to the home six. Taylor Youngman on his game today, on his A game, working on a shutout, a two-hitter through the first 5 innings. The Milwaukee Bucks dancers, Rock, are holding open auditions Sunday, July 12th. That would be next Sunday, beginning at 9 a.m. at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. For more information, visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on the More tab. I don't think there is a gender discrimination there, so if you're not busy, that might be something you want to look into next Sunday.
I'll tell you, back in the old days, back in college, they played some ABBA, Dancing Queen. I'd be out there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Does that surprise you?
You and Dancing Queen has a nice visual in my imagination right now. Well done.
You brought it up, not me. You asked me about dancing. I answered your question.
Jason Bourgeois leads off. And in the air to right field, playable for Braun.
And as you've seen for the last 9 years, I'm not afraid to embarrass myself.
Good thing you don't have any opportunities to embarrass yourself in front of the public.
Oh, no.
Since you're only on television for 7 months.
Yep. It's well documented. I'm a big ABBA fan. At least I used to be. I went to see Mamma Mia when the team was in New York.
It's nice.
So don't judge me.
It's a great show. Crowd is cheering for Billy Hamilton, who has just been announced as the pinch hitter.
You know who used to say that all the time? Don't judge me, don't you? That's our buddy Daryl Hamilton.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Old Daryl.
I say that
was one of his lines.
I say that in his honor all the time.
Still can't believe that.
Yeah.
So Hamilton, this was the scene yesterday in case you missed it, the AT&T U-verse rewind. Hamilton had dropped a few pieces of gum out there in center field, so Carlos Gomez wrote him a note. I see you dropped all your gum. Here's a gift, and he wrote him a note and put some gum all around, and Hamilton had a good chuckle at that. Just having a little fun with each other.
Yeah. All that stuff kind of centers around Carlos Gomez, doesn't it?
Yes.
Stuff with Torrey Hunter back in Miller Park.
Yeah, with the chin strap.
Right.
Big boats are rolling on the Ohio, cruising on by. Honking the horn.
I was on one of those boats yesterday. The Ohio River cruising.
Went out on the tugboat?
Yeah, while you were around the batting cage yesterday, I'm sure.
Hamilton draws a walk. So a pinch hit appearance and now a walk to the speedy Billy Hamilton. That's a no-no. He's the National League leader in steals. You got Hoover and Contreras loosening for Cincinnati. Two right-handers. Hoover is typically the setup man. I'm guessing if the Reds score a few runs here, he'd have Hoover out there.
Right.
Otherwise, it'll be Carlos Contreras.
Well, Billy Hamilton with 40 steals and 46 chances. He's going to take off. He can get a jump. Of course, he doesn't really need much of a jump. He's so fast.
Reds have 81 stolen bases. That is the best in baseball. And Hamilton has almost half of them. He won't be there long. Phillips will give him a chance to run.
One thing you want to do if you're Taylor Youngman, you want to keep an eye on him, but don't dwell on him over there. And that guy at the plate can do more damage than that base runner. Keep your focus on Brandon Phillips.
Especially with a 3-run lead.
Yeah, these are situations where catchers cherish. They love this kind of matchup. I mean, for Jonathan Lucroy, you're anxious for him to take off. If he makes it, no big deal, but it's a nice badge of honor if you're able to throw him out.
Close play. Youngman, who has a very quick move to first, will keep Hamilton a little more honest.
I think early in the year, I think Maldonado threw Billy Hamilton out at second base. Always good to be able to get guys like that. That's the way it was with Ricky Henderson. There's not many who could throw him out.
40 stolen bases at 56 all of last year. There he goes. Lucroy's throw to second is off the mark, and Hamilton swipes number 41. He had 19 steals in the month of June. Had more than a number of teams, including the Brewers, in the month of June. So he is at second with one away. Two 2-0 is the count on Brandon Phillips. You got Joey Votto on deck. It's a key hitter for Youngman, who has been terrific thus far. And a pop-up. Well done. Ryan Braun will make the catch. Hamilton stays put.
Good fastball away from Brandon Phillips and got him on an easy fly out. 41 stolen bases for Billy Hamilton, and he came in with an on-base percentage of .272. Can you imagine the number of stolen bases he could rack up if he can get into the 320, 330, 340 range, which isn't asking a whole lot.
He'd steal 100 easy.
Yeah.
Joey Votto with two away.
Which was why Ricky Henderson had so many stolen bases. His on-base percentage for his career was over 400.
A good hitter with power.
Yep.
Drew a lot of walks.
Yep. Those guys you don't find anymore.
Hamilton's more in the Otis Nixon mold. Maybe Vince Coleman. Wave and a miss. Is that a changeup from Youngman?
Hadn't thrown many. 83 miles an hour. Votto's a good choice, though. He's going to throw him to lefties. He very rarely, if ever, throws a changeup to a right-handed hitter.
Well, see what he does with him here. 2 outs, runner at second. 3-0 Brewers. Youngman trying to keep the shutout intact.
And he will steal third. I don't know if it's a good idea with Joey Votto at the plate or not. Well, he's already in scoring position, and a sure run if Votto's able to get a base hit.
Fastball that time. Just missed. 2-1.
If there was one out, you would figure he might try and steal it. With 2 outs, I don't know.
There's another changeup, and Votto lays off. You got a base open at first. However, you have a very dangerous hitter due up next.
And he represents the tying run, so you got to go right after Votto here. If he hits it out of the ballpark, tip your hat. But you can't be careful with Votto here with Frazier on deck.
And Votto gets jammed on a 3-1 pitch, fouls it away. Well, that's a perfect symbol of what the fastball is for Taylor Youngman.
And a little cut as it gets to the hitting zone. That's what that delivery does for him.
Well, there is velocity, and there is how the velocity plays to a hitter. And for Youngman, his 92, 93 mile an hour fastball looks more like 96, 97 because he hides it. 3-2 pitch. Votto in the air, left field, right there. Shane Peterson. So Taylor Youngman drops another changeup on Votto, and he is through 6 scoreless. behind Taylor Youngman, the right-handed rookie. Carsoup.com trivia: who represented the Brewers in the '70 All-Star game, played at Riverfront. And remember, the Brewers were an American League team then, and one of their only stars was Tommy Harper. He appeared as a pinch hitter in the 5th. That was the year after the Pilots moved to Milwaukee, so the first year in the existence of the Milwaukee Brewers. Tommy Harper, good name from the early days of the franchise. Carlos Contreras is on the mound here in a 3-0 Milwaukee lead. He'll have the top of the order coming up.
We saw Contreras here on Friday night, an inning and 2/3. He gave up the grand slam to Carlos Gomez. That was in the 7th inning of Friday's victory for Milwaukee. You know, that earned run average at 375 in game number 11 today.
You know, Tommy Harper was a Cincinnati Red for a long time before he ended up with the Pilots and then the Brewers. He was a stolen base champion with Seattle. All-Star game coming up in 9 days right here in Cincinnati. They'll take center stage, all the mustaches everywhere.
Yeah, Reds hit the road after today's game. Won't be back until the second half. Allow Major League Baseball and the city of Cincinnati to get ready for the big game.
Parra sends one deep to right. Will it stay fair? It is back, and it is a home run. Gerardo Parra with a bomb out of here. Number 7 on the year for Parra, makes it 4-0.
How about that tomahawk of a high fastball? A lot of times when the ball gets hit like that, it's going to hook foul, but straight down that line, just inside the right field foul pole, and the Brewers with a 4-0 lead. And Parra stays hot. 2 more hits today.
Yeah, we keep saying that, right? That he stays hot. We might have to move that into he's just good, because he's doing it every day.
Right.
And he's been doing it every day since late April. A majestic home run by Gerardo Parra. He's having a career year with the Brewers this year. 9th in the league in hitting. 2 more hits today. 2 homers in the series. Lucroy takes a strike. So with that home run, the Brewers have now had a runner at least reach base in 23 of the 25 innings of this series. All but 2 innings.
Yep.
They've had at least 1 runner reach. And they've had a runner on in every inning today. Scoring in 4 innings. What a road trip for Gerardo Parra.
No, what a road trip for everybody. I mean, it's been one of those road trips where it kind of reminds you back to the beginning of the season last year. The Brewers went on that 6-game road trip to Boston and Philly. Didn't seem to be able to do anything wrong. But this is a 7-game trip, and they continue to swing the bats.
Making a bid at their 8th consecutive win. Gerardo Parra on this road trip is now 13 for 28 with 2 homers and 4 runs batted in.
And the happiest guy in the traveling party right now, 2 guys actually, Darnell Coles and John Shelby, the hitting coaches.
Yeah, they are resting easy these days.
Get all the blame when things aren't going well, but nobody ever mentions their name when the team's hitting like this.
Except us.
Except us. Now, hard they all work, the coaches.
It has been fun to see that, you know, as much as they were grinding in the first month of the season, and managerial change, these coaches take it personal. And they can relax a little bit. This has been an amazing run by the Brewers. Let's see if they can keep it going for a while. Still Some work left to do here today. Lucroy back up the middle, base hit. Beautiful piece of hitting there. Got a breaking ball on a 2-strike pitch, and Lucroy into center field with his first hit. Parra, they measured it 425 feet. Only question was whether it would stay fair or foul.
And right down that right field line. That was hit number 9 for the Brewers today. Lucroy just registered hit number 10. Let's check out the Powerball home run count for the Brewers. Gerardo Parra making an appearance on the list, number 7 today. Ryan Braun leads the pack with 15.
And Braun is 6th in the league in that category. He's at the plate with Lucroy at first. Right off the end of the bat. Out to Bourgeois.
Another game with 10 or more hits. Incredible run.
So the Brewers on this road trip on 4 occasions have had 16 or more hits. That gives them 7 for the year. That leads the National League. Tied with the Tigers for the Major League lead with 7 games of 16 or more hits. And this is from a team that has scored 2 or fewer runs on 36 occasions this year.
Right.
So it has been a lot of all or nothing, but mostly a lot of nothing early and a lot of all lately, if that makes sense.
And keep in mind 4 consecutive series wins too, with a win yesterday.
Yeah, took down the Mets, the Twins, swept the Phillies, and a chance to sweep the Reds.
So it's not just the offense. I mean, pitching's been good. Defense has been good. You haven't been making mistakes on the bases. This is the way the team was expected to play from the beginning.
Adam Lind setting a franchise record with his last at bat, which was an RBI single. Most consecutive games with at least 1 RBI. That'll be fun to watch tomorrow. He'll set a new record with an RBI tomorrow. That ball's deep. Adam Lind will watch this one fly. A 2-run home run for Adam Lind. And the Brewers add to their lead. It is now 6-0. 3 runs are in here in the 7th. What an onslaught this continues to be. Adam Lind with his 14th home run on the season. He is now over the 50 RBI plateau, gives him 52 ribbies.
The guy can hit. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it just flat out hits and starting to pull the ball a little bit more. And I'm not sure if that was a cutter or something that was in middle speed that Lind was able to turn on and knock out of here. Up there about 10 rows. That'll be it for Contreras.
2 hits and 3 RBIs for Adam Lind, and Brian Price is running out of options in that bullpen. He'll make a call. Pedro Villarreal is coming in. Lind makes it 6-0. We'll take a timeout.
2-run shot by Adam Lind. At the Brewers at 6-0 lead, and get a behind-the-scenes look at the Brewers family this Wednesday at 7 o'clock as Mark and Debbie Adanazio host a special Inside the Brewers Q&A session at the Rubenstein Pavilion on Prospect Avenue. Only 250 tickets are available for this exclusive event, hosted by Brian Anderson. To reserve your spot, visit JewishMuseumMilwaukee.org. Now, you're everywhere. Is there anywhere you are not, visible? Off days, nights after day games. I mean, you're a very highly sought after guy, aren't you?
I don't know about that. I'm looking forward to that event, though, with the Adanasios. It's going to be a baseball feel, but it's also about their family and how the ownership of the ball club came to be. And they've got a great baseball exhibit going at the Jewish Museum right now. Bud Selig spoke earlier this year there, and they've got a really cool setup. I'm looking forward to spending some time over there Wednesday. Aramis Ramirez greets the new pitcher Villarreal rudely. It is all going good for Milwaukee. That is hit number 11. And Ramirez has 2 hits here today.
Yeah,
hit number 12, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Villarreal with a slider that Ramirez was able to wait back on and knock into left field. Seems like everything the Reds are throwing up there, the Brewers are able to get the barrel of the bat on. Fastball, cutter, slider, and changeup for Villarreal, who appeared in yesterday's game, or last night's ball game for Cincinnati. Tossed a scoreless inning in 2/3.
Hernan Perez will run for Ramirez. And will stay in the game to play third base. Aramis extending his hitting streak to 8 games. Now 13 hits in those 8 games. And a shot. Votto makes a play. Throw to second for 1. Back to first. That was a nifty double play. Started by Joey Votto. It goes 3-6-3 to end the inning. But the Brewers score 3, and they now lead it by a score of 6-0. Well, we turn it over to Reds public address announcer Joe Zerhusen and Great American Ballpark's presentation of God Bless America.
Major League Baseball and the Brewers salute the men and women of our armed forces, as well as those who serve to protect in our local police and fire departments. At this time, please help us honor these brave men and women and all our veterans of service, and welcome Chris Karadjev of the Cincinnati Pops as he performs God Bless America.
continues to shine, and Taylor Youngman is working on a 2-hit shutout today on the mound. Well, don't forget to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag WISFan. Check it, WISDataStrongFan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast courtesy of T-Mobile. WISDataStrongFan. Hernan Perez will take over at third for Ramirez. Pinch ran for him last inning. Brewers scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the 7th. Taylor Youngman also the story today. 2-hit shutout against the Reds. Frazier leads off.
Yeah, bottom part of this Brewers rotation has been pretty good in this series. I mean, you got Fiers, got the win on Friday. You had a good start from Jimmy yesterday. And now Taylor Youngman, a number 5 starter, shutting out the Reds.
His best game in the big leagues by far.
Against a pretty good offense in a bandbox, a very hitter friendly, home run friendly park.
Frazier is 0 for 2 today against Youngman. He cued one right off the end of the bat his last time up. That was a key moment last inning for Taylor Youngman after he had walked Billy Hamilton. With the top of the order coming up, it was a 3-0 game at the time. And then he got Phillips to pop up to right, and then he fell behind Joey Votto 3-1. Came back to get him on a little soft liner to left, stranding Hamilton at second base and keeping his shutout alive.
And really broke out the changeup on Votto in that at bat. He threw 3 of them and got the out on the changeup. So starting a little bit, get a little more confident in that off-speed pitch.
Fastball on the ground right to Segura. And Frazier is retired. He is 0 for 3 today. There's a lot of 0-fers in that Cincinnati lineup. Top 3 of the batting order, as a matter of fact. Phillips, Votto, and Frazier are combined 0 for 9.
Only 2 hits allowed back to back. Bruce and Bird. That was in the 5th. Got out of it with a double play ball.
A 2-hitter with just 1 walk. 3 strikeouts for Youngman, facing Jay Bruce now with 1 away. And he's got him out in front. Fly ball to Parra. 2 outs.
Hey, the Brew Crew returns home tomorrow night to begin a 3-game set with the Braves. That will run Monday through Wednesday. Wednesday's a day game, and because it's Miller Monday, tickets for tomorrow night's game start at just $9. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit Brewers.com for tickets.
The Atlanta Braves. They have won 4 straight. They're playing the Phillies once again today. Brewers swept the Phillies in a 4-game series, and now the Phillies have lost 6 in a row. Atlanta is 1 game under and 5 games out. They are certainly in the playoff picture. Marlon Byrd on the first pitch with a base hit. He's 2 for 3 today against Youngman. 2 out of the 3 hits for Cincinnati coming from Byrd.
Yeah, first time up, a strikeout in the 2nd inning, and back-to-back hits, 1 to left, 1 to center.
Two outs, runner at first for DeJesus. The Brewers have the longest winning streak in the big leagues. It's 7. A couple other teams have won 4 in a row. The White Sox have won 4 in a row. And the Braves, as we just mentioned. White Sox had a great catch to preserve a win yesterday. Would have been a walk-off home run yesterday. Avisail Garcia
out in right field.
Right to Segura. He'll go to Jeanette, and Taylor Youngman just cruising right now. 7 shutout innings in Cincinnati. 6-0 Brewers. And in our shining moment today, brought to you by Marshfield Clinic, we just throw all of them in there. The entire offense, all road trip. And again today, the Brewers is coming up big, inning after inning. Got RBIs today from Ramirez and Jeanette. Adam Lind has 3 runs batted in, including a 2-run homer. Parra hit a bomb of a home run. Parra and Lind hit home runs in the 7th inning. A 3-run 7th makes it 6-0 Milwaukee.
Well, you know the offense has been incredible when the shining moment is offense, when your pitcher has a 7-inning shutout going.
Exactly. A 3-hitter.
Right.
Well, they have certainly set Youngman at ease. And he is putting together his best day as a professional pitcher. So Gene Segura will lead off. Bottom of the order coming up. Be curious to see if Youngman goes out to hit in this 8th inning. His pitch count's in pretty good shape. It's not like he couldn't continue here.
81 pitches, a little over 80 pitches. Sure.
He's got a nice lead going.
Why not leave him in there? Give your bullpen some time off.
Pedro Villarreal back on the mound for the Reds. Segura just leans out and serves one into right. A base hit. His second 3-hit game. Had 3 hits yesterday. 3 more today. And the Brewers now with 13 hits.
Man, that's something. Everything that they're laying the bat on ends up a base hit, whether they hit it well or not. That's a good approach by Segura, though. Not trying to pull it. 1 hit away from 100 for this road trip. I don't know why that's stuck in my head. I can't get it out of my head, but that's a nice round number.
It is. That's a triple-digit number, as a matter of fact.
For 7 games?
I mean, 99's not bad either, but 100.
Yeah, I mean, why stop at 99?
By the way, a note on Gene Segura. So remember in Philadelphia, he had an 0 for 16 slump going.
Mm-hmm.
And got his first hit to break that streak at 16. So since that time, he's 10 for 16. Jeanette into left. Bird on his way back, and he'll make the play. Scooter's hit the ball hard all 4 times today. He's 2 out of 4.
3 times to left field. Great play by Bird in left in the 5th inning. Oh for 16 and then 10 for 16. That's why they call this a game of averages, right? What are you averaging? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you have hot streaks, cold streaks.
Yeah, and if you go, just take those 2 windows. If you go 10 for 32,
I'll take that.
Yeah, that's a good year to hit over 300. I'm not sure Segura thought he'd make it up that fast. Segura's batting average back up to 272.
Now look at Lucroy. How high he's been able to raise his batting average since coming back.
Taylor Youngman trying to bunt Segura over. That'll roll foul. The Brewers have 7 consecutive games with 10 or more hits. With the 13 on the board today, the franchise record is 9. And it's been done 3 times. The Brewers actually did it last year, last May. There's a good bunt. Youngman with his second sacrifice of the day, advancing Segura. So that'll bring Gerardo Parra to the plate. 2 more hits today, including a 425-foot home run in the 7th. on the first pitch. Parra to center field. This will end the inning. Brewers fail to score, but they do get another hit. 6 runs on 13 hits. Youngman coming back. Is standing tall here in the Queen City. 7 shutout innings for Youngman. He returns for the 8th. The Brewers do not have a complete game this season. Matter of fact, the last complete game was right here in Cincinnati, turned in by Kyle Loesch September 24th of last year. And with a pitch count like that, it is certainly in the range of possibility for Youngman here today.
Yeah, single-digit pitch counts in 3 innings. That's pretty good.
One year ago on this day, exactly a year ago, Matt Garza threw a complete game here in Cincinnati. Something about this ballpark. Grand slams against the Reds and complete games here at Great American Ballpark. It's not the spot you'd expect it.
Right.
Such a hitter-friendly venue. 2 out of the 3 complete games last year were in Cincinnati. Garza and Loesch.
Yeah, throw strikes, keep the baseball down. That's what Youngman's been doing, mixing in the curveball and starting to throw some changeups. The fact that the Reds have never seen him before has helped, I'm sure. An unusual delivery, but he's pitched well.
Tucker Barnhart leads off this 8th inning. Bottom of the order coming up. Barnhart out in front and a pop-up foul. Taylor Youngman, the rookie right-hander, is trying to become the first Brewer rookie with a shutout versus the Reds since Willie Peralta did it, and that was almost 2 years to the day. That was at Miller Park. Willie's was a 3-hitter back in July 9th of 2013. There's a liner to left field, and is that an out? Yes, it is. Called out. Peterson lays out and makes the catch. That was close.
Yeah, came close a couple of hitters ago. Actually, last inning.
That's reviewable, but that's in the glove.
Yep, the glove's on the ground. The ball hits the fingers of the glove and in and holds on to it.
That's a pretty impressive call right there by Tony Randazzo. The third base umpire is the crew chief, Bill Welke.
Almost made a catch like that against Marlon Byrd back in the 5th.
Bill Welke looked at Randazzo, said, "I don't know," and Randazzo looked at Welke and said, I got him out on that one." Because it did look like there was a little bounce to it, but it was.
But there was. The glove was underneath the baseball. It's okay as long as the glove's underneath.
He's grabbing his wrist there. Hope he's all right, Peterson. He's done a good job for the Brewers. Been impressed with Shane Peterson. Not sure what's going to happen with the roster when Chris Davis comes back, but Peterson has certainly earned his keep in the major leagues. Craig Counsell was just raving about.
Yeah, smart player. Doesn't make mistakes. Throws to the right base. You know, all things you would expect of every major leaguer, but that's not the case. Smart guy, anticipates well. Nothing really jumps out at you as far as tools go, but he's the entire package.
Ground ball to Segura. Nice easy hop. And Youngman 2 up and 2 down in the 8th inning. Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Atlanta Braves coming to town. Tomorrow to be Kyle Loesch against Matt Whistler. And then Garza versus Manny Banuelos, the former Yankee prospect, the lefty. Julio Teheran will get the ball against Mike Fiers for the day game on Wednesday. Note the airtime at 12:30 Wednesday.
A couple of unknowns, and then Julio Teheran. The Brewers have seen quite a bit of him.
Whistler and Banuelos, 2 young pitchers that are a big reason why the Braves are back in the race. Now rolled is Chapman, just where you want him in a non-save situation. He's getting ready for the 9th. Skip Schumacher pinch hitting. Your 100 hit road trip is in jeopardy, Rock, with Chapman coming in.
Nah, we're all right. We got the top of the order up. Plus Chapman in a non-save situation, just getting some work, might tone it down a little bit, maybe 99.
Right, cruising speed. He threw on, the StatCast keeping up with the actual velocity.
Yeah.
He threw on the other day 103.9 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He has the record. He threw on 105.1 in San Diego. That was maybe 2011. He may be the hardest throwing human being ever.
Yeah, wouldn't doubt it.
At least of a baseball. I don't know if there's been javelin throwers that they keep velocity on that. I figure Chapman might have been a good javelin thrower anyway.
Yeah, at least since they started keeping speed pitches, right? Registering speeds.
Here's a 3-2, and it's outside for a ball. A walk.
The only 2 walks of the game, right? The pinch hitters. Billy Hamilton, now Skip Schumacher.
2-out walk. Youngman trying to keep the shutout intact. He's allowed 3 hits and 2 walks.
And 3 strikeouts, and 2 of those strikeouts came back to back in the 2nd inning. Hadn't had a punch out since the 3rd.
Here's Brandon Phillips. He's been swinging early in the counts today. Swings here, and that's deep into left field. Peterson is back, and Peterson can't make the play. In and out of his glove as he crashes into the wall, and the Reds are on the board for the first time.
Well, he's had a rough inning, hadn't he? Coming in. He might have hurt his wrist a little bit, going back, crashing into that wall. I think he had the ball in his glove at one point. He thinks he should have had it. Had a piece of it. The glove was on the baseball, but just couldn't hold on.
That would have been a great catch.
And it was in the glove, but once he hit the wall, it came out. And there's your shutout. It's gone. Brandon Phillips with an RBI.
Terrific effort by Shane Peterson in a 6-0 game, trying to preserve the shutout for his starter. Those two were in AAA together earlier this year. So it is 6-1, and here is Joey Votto. RBI for Brandon Phillips. Today is Brandon Phillips poster day. So at least he has some success on his poster day. How close he came to making this play. Oh, right in the heel of the glove, and then the contact with the wall is what forced it out.
And knocked it out. Good effort.
Pitch number 100 for Youngman. Tried another changeup on Votto. What a great day for him. 6 big league start. By far his best.
Probably be his last hitter, I would imagine, right? I mean, you don't want to get this thing too close. I mean, a home run here, and then you got a 3-run game. Reds still have a lot of work to do, but you don't want to give him any life. Reds offense has been DOA all day because of Taylor Youngman. And as you see, Will Smith Neil Kotz getting loose.
2 balls and a strike on Votto. 3-1. Brewers are trying to complete their 4th ever road trip sweep in what we call a minimum 6-game road trip or more. Had a few 3-game road trip sweeps. 6 or more games on a road trip, it is extremely difficult to sweep. The Brewers had one last year. Had a 6-game road trip sweep. Swept Boston and then Philadelphia. That was early in the season last year. First road trip of the year, as a matter of fact.
It's tough to sweep any, one series in the big leagues, whether you're home or on the road. Particularly difficult to sweep a 4-game series.
Which is what the Brewers did in Philadelphia. 3-2 pitch. Votto swings and misses. Down he goes. And Taylor Youngman with an exclamation point. 8 strong innings here today in Cincinnati. Just 1 run allowed. What a performance by Youngman. Probably his last hitter. And he is in line for yet another road win, which would be his 3rd. The Cuban Missile coming in. Aroldis Chapman to pitch the 9th. Presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. 6-1 Milwaukee leading Cincinnati. Trying to sweep the Reds, which has been tough to do. Last time the Brewers swept the Reds in Cincinnati was September of 2011. Aroldis Chapman is on the mound. He'll pitch the 9th inning. Brewers have Lucroy, Braun, and Lind coming up. They are a hit away from 100 on the road trip, the Brewers, and they're going to face a guy that you'd much rather have in a non-save situation. He's been one of the best this year.
Yeah, 60 strikeouts in 34 and a third innings. I mean, that's mind-boggling stuff. Last pitched on Wednesday. Picked up a save against the Twins, number 16. He has blown a save, 16 out of 17, and this is just an opportunity for Chapman to get some work.
Jonathan Lucroy will lead off. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Aroldis Chapman doesn't allow many home runs, but Jonathan Lucroy has one of the more significant home runs against Aroldis Chapman. One of the great moments in Lucroy's career as well. It was an epic battle. 2013, Chapman fastball after fastball finally decided to go with a slider, and Lucroy hit a walk-off home run August of 2013.
That was about a 10-pitch at bat. Chapman finally hung a slider, and Lucroy knocked it out of there. And 1 for 8, but he made the one-hit count.
And 7 strikeouts. He's got a home run and 7 strikeouts in his 8 at-bats against him. And Chapman's only given up 1 home run since, I believe. He doesn't give up many.
And Lucroy not alone in stats like that against Chapman.
He is a weapon that most do not have. There's been some trade discussion about Chapman. He's the guy that could bring in the biggest haul, he and Cueto, as Lucroy, a little pop-up out to second base. And the first out of the 9th inning for Chapman. Chapman is a free agent at season's end. I take it back. So his original contract is up, but he's still arbitration eligible next year, and he's going to get a huge number in arbitration, and then he's a free agent in 2017. The Reds already have an enormous payroll, and Chapman's going to be able to probably command $10 million plus in arbitration.
You got a starting pitcher that's going to be a free agent this year that's going to command a ton of money.
Yeah, Johnny Cueto.
And
now he'll be moving into the $20 million per year range, you would think.
Yeah, Mike Leake's going to be a free agent. Today's starting pitcher.
Swing and a miss on a slider from Chapman. Chapman's just throwing batting practice speed right now for him. This is about 90%.
Yeah.
Maybe 85%. Just kind of getting loose.
And throwing 96 miles an hour. Huh?
Cruising speed. That one had a little on it. 100 miles an hour, and that gets him oohing and eyeing in the crowd. It posts the velocity here in the stadium. Been very few like him in the history of the game. A left-hander with this kind of velocity. Braun on the ground. And 2 outs. Chapman looks like he's dealing with a little tightness in the back or something. He doesn't look comfortable out there.
We've seen that a lot from him, if you think about it. I mean, a lot of the times that we've seen him, we've seen a ton of them. Well, he's tugging at something, making it appear that he's not feeling all that great, and then he'll throw the next one 102 miles an hour. Oh, he's all right.
Maybe he just does that as a I don't know, a coping mechanism.
And just like your guy, Earl Campbell.
Yeah, my guy. Don't compare Earl Campbell to Aroldis Chapman.
No.
No.
You know what I mean, though?
Yes. You always were scared he was never going to get up. And then he'd get up and he'd run for 100 more yards.
Walk back to the huddle like it was going to be his last play, and then, yeah.
How about this matchup with Adam Lind and Chapman? Lefty on lefty. He's faced him twice. He has struck out twice, has Lind. He has 2 hits today, 3 runs batted in. He's been a star among stars on this road trip. Lind takes strike 2. Lind has a chance at a franchise record tomorrow. He has an RBI in 9 consecutive games. Nobody's ever had more. And he's tied with 3 others with his RBI today. And down he goes. So Chapman, 12 pitches, 3 up, 3 down. The Brewers with 99 hits on the road trip, trying to wrap it up next. Outs away from a sweep of Cincinnati. Their first here in 4 years. And trying to make it 7 straight on the road and 8 straight overall. The Marshfield Clinic leaders in relief. Brewers bullpen on this road trip. They've actually given up a few earned runs on this trip, but they've been able to get out of some jams. Will Smith lost his 15 games consecutive scoreless streak on this road trip. But overall, very good showing. And now Neil Kotz is on to try to finish it off. He'll have Frazier to lead off, Jay Bruce, then Marlon Byrd.
Yeah, 5 runs is not too bad when you consider there was an extra inning game in Philly. And you know, when you're winning every game on the road, the visiting team has always got that 9th inning to hit. So Neil Kotz, 34th appearance, and a earned run average continues to go down at under 3.9 now for Kotz. Neil Kotz has been doing a pretty good job as of late. Pitched on Wednesday against the Phillies and retired both batters that he faced.
Well, today certainly another day for the offense for Milwaukee with 6 runs on 13 hits. Taylor Youngman will share the headlines today. His best start as a big leaguer and his 6th start as a big leaguer. He goes 8 innings with 1 run allowed, 4 hits, 2 walks, 104 pitches, and he is in line to win his 3rd. All 3 of his wins on the road. He would go to 3-1 here today. Frazier in the air to left. Routine for Peterson.
I find it interesting that both of the walks issued by Youngman were to the 2 pinch hitters. Billy Hamilton, Skip Schumacher. That second walk, the one to Schumacher, cost him a run in the 8th.
Youngman's ERA is now 2.43 in 6 big league starts. with his 8 innings today of 1-run ball. That run didn't come until the 8th inning. 2-out RBI double by Brandon Phillips.
That was almost caught out and left. Great effort by Peterson out there. I got the sense that baseball wasn't traveling all that well in this series. I mean, did you get that sense? I mean, the ball that that Phillips hit in the 8th, I thought was a home run. It didn't go all that well. A couple others throughout the series. Todd Frazier hit one early today in the 1st inning. I think it was the right. He thought it was out, and Braun able to make the catch on the warning track.
A little cooler than it normally is here in Cincinnati in July. Jay Bruce draws a walk. A base runner for the Reds. 1 out here in the 9th. Neil Kotz 2 outs away from finishing off the Reds. The Brewers are headed home tonight. Series with the Atlanta Braves beginning tomorrow. 3-game series. 2 night games and a day game. Have an afternoon affair on Wednesday. Hope you'll make plans to join us on the homestand. Craig Counsell trying to move his managerial record to 1 game under 500 with a win here today. Kotz facing Marlon Byrd, who has 2 of the 4 Reds hits today.
6 straight balls by Kotz.
The Red starter Mike Leake is on the hook for the loss. Went 6 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. Leake would drop to 5-5, and you wonder how many starts he has in a Reds uniform remaining. He and Johnny Cueto. Cueto is supposed to match up against Strasburg on Tuesday as the Reds play the Nationals. That'll be some matchup.
I tell you, Johnny Cueto might be the most interesting or fun pitcher to watch in all of baseball. I mean, just some of the antics that he has out there, the number of different deliveries. It almost looks like he's just messing with guys up there at the plate. Almost like he gets bored sometimes. He's so good. That's how good he is.
The hesitations, the spins, the rotations. He does the Louis Tiant.
Yep, different velocities on different pitches, and a lot of fun to watch.
2-2 to Byrd.
You know, as much as it's good that the Brewer offense didn't have to face him in this series, you miss not seeing guys like that.
Yeah.
That's Johnny Cueto right there, one of the best.
He pitched Wednesday, and the Reds took 2 out of 3 from the Twins prior to this series. Cincinnati will embark on a 7-game road trip. Cueto's got Scherzer on Tuesday in Washington against the Nationals, Washington, D.C. There's a strikeout. Kotz comes all the way back and strikes out Marlon Byrd after 6 consecutive balls.
Yeah, 2-0. Then he's able to blow the fastball by him upstairs.
Reds will go to Washington for 3, then Miami before the All-Star break. And then they resume the second half here at home against Cleveland. Their interleague American League rivals up the road in Ohio. We'll see the Reds again in Milwaukee in late August. August 28th through 30th. And then back here in Cincinnati in early September. September 4 through the 6th. 0-2 on DeJesus. Brewers a strike away from capping off one of their best ever road trips in franchise history. A shot right to Segura. He'll wind it up, and there it is. The Brewers sweep the road trip. 7-0 for Craig Counsell and the crew. They've won 8 straight overall. The 7-game road winning streak for Milwaukee. They scored double digits, or hit in double digits in all 7. 99 hits and 53 runs scored in the 7-game road trip.